My colleague Chriselda Lewis is standing by now. Chriselda, are we crossing to Chriselda? All right, Chriselda is still trying to get the line up so that we could cross over to her. But just in a nutshell, we've seen one body, outside the mall where Chriselda is, and it's not yet clear what really led to the death of this particular person. And we don't know whether that person was a bystander or one of the looters. And we see a woman carrying clothing items coming out of that particular mall. And my colleague Chriselda Lewis is standing by. Chriselda, over to you.
Police? Yeah. Well, that's right, Simply. We're live pictures here at the Letsoho Mall. This is in Katlehong. Live visuals, people looting. They've gone right back inside the mall at the moment. Police extremely outnumbered. Take a look at that police officer. He's the one who's firing towards those looters at the moment. And this is what the situation has been at this stage. And while all of this is taking place, the body of someone who has died is still lying here in the middle of the road here. Police are completely outnumbered. The looters are going into this Letsoho Mall, and they've basically taken everything that they've wanted to take. Look, some of them just walking out, that one running in. I mean, because simply they can see that how many police officers, one of them seems to be armed at this particular point. So my colleague at Japan Matabula going to focus on that. See, carpets being taken, people going in. That is the situation at this particular point at this mall, and I don't know, simply, how this is going to continue, because the issue with it is that, I mean, in full view of police, I'm going to ask you to show the viewers, my colleague to show the viewers. Police are obviously there's nothing that they can do at this particular stage. There you have it. You've got there's someone else coming out at this stage carrying some. There's the police moving in. There you have it. Police are going to be firing rubber bullets at this particular stage, trying to disperse them. All right. Okay, that one about to be. Move back, Japan. Move back. We're going to move back at the stage. This lady, one of those arrested who's just come out of the mall at this particular stage. Some of the community members. There you have it, that lady. Japan, move back. This is the lady who's being arrested at this stage. One of those who's being arrested at this point. One of the looters, the police have obviously had their hands full. That's all they've managed to get, of course, with the many. All right, I am at Letsoho. I am at Letsoho Mall, which is in Katlehong. That's just to give you an idea of where we are. Letsoho Mall in Katlehong, just to give a sense to the viewers of where we are. This is the lady who's being arrested at this particular. Police continue. You have to forgive me. I'm going to try and move. Let's move in this particular way. I'm going to ask my colleague if we can move towards this particular area. You just stay with us there. Try to move in a bit close to where they are. Move here. Stay with me 1 second as police continue to fire as the looting here continues. These are the scenes. Some of the gentlemen here obviously going to be apprehended due to forming some of the looting. All right, let's move towards that direction. Japan, move back that way. You're going to get hurt. Stones are being thrown at the police at the moment. Got to try and make sure. These are live pictures from the Letsoho Mall in Katlehong, where the looting continues. We're going to try and stay behind this police line at this stage. I think, guys, let's get out of here, please, because we don't have the protection of police at this particular stage. Well, these are live pictures from the Letsoho Mall, which is here in Katlehong, where you see this is what the case is at this particular time.
You know, Chriselda, it's so unfortunate that these people are doing it. I mean, they make it look so normal, the fact that they are looting right in front of police and in full view of the cameras.
More police. All right, let's move in. All right, here police have been brought in. Here the situation quite volatile at this particular stage. Here more police being brought in, trying to disperse the crowd and the looting. Here these police being brought in from this particular area. They've been brought in from that side. You'll see towards here. Ask my colleague Japan, move towards this direction. Everyone has basic police. Police are basically firing. At the Letsoho Mall here in Katlehong. Going to try and move with police. It's a very tough space to be in. Many of them basically dispersed. Let's show you now exactly what is taking place. Here, some of these. I must say, a lot of restraint being exercised by police here. All right, media here. All right, so this is what Simpiwe, the scenes that you're seeing here. All these shops, alarms have gone off. This is the situation here. Police basically moving in to several of the shops that have been looted. And what is the name of this shop? It's one of the shops that have been looted here. Everything is on the floor. And police have managed now to move the protesters from where they had initially been. At some point, they were at free will coming into this shop. They were at free will coming into this shop, but now they've managed to come in and disperse the crowd from here. But there is nothing left to loot. There's just a few items that are here. Let's see. All right, more people being arrested. Let's go in. Some of them basically trying to hide. Will not show their faces as they've not yet appeared in court. One of the things we have to maneuver through. And what we're also seeing is young children who will not show their faces at this particular point. They've not yet appeared in court. These are just some of the individuals who were found inside this particular store and hiding in here at the time that the looting was taking place. This will give you a general sense of exactly what is taking place, the context within which all of this has been taking place. These shops have been looted. There's absolutely nothing left here. And there's another one leaving. All right, as some try to go, police firing rubber bullets. We're going to try and get out of this particular space where we are at the moment to try and be as safe as possible. Japan, you'll be careful here. Let's just go through. caught between a rock and a hard place here, trying to walk through the area where we are. Some of my colleagues from the rest of the media also here, trying to, with the assistance, I guess, of police at this particular point, because what they've managed to successfully do now is to have those who are involved in the looting here out of the mall to try and salvage whatever there is. So at this particular part, I think perhaps we should head towards that area, because the forensic pathologist had just arrived. Recall, this is the area, the Letsoho Mall in Katlehong. This is the area where the had been found. All right, let's have a look here. Someone else coming out. All right. Some of them surrendering. Some of them surrendering. Some of them coming out and surrendering. All right, some of them trying to escape. Police managed to apprehend them. They're being handcuffed at the moment. And these are the general scenes here where we are.
Chriselda, when you spoke to that center manager earlier on, he said that the looting started at around 6 a.m. this morning. 4 hours later, it's only now that the police are taking action. It does appear that the situation is out of control and it's just slipped out of their hands. So just by looking and observing the situation there, what is the proportion of the police personnel in relation to the number of looters that are currently there?
Well, it is a very difficult situation, as you would have seen. What we showed you here at the Letsoho Mall, and it's certainly something that we have managed to witness in our coverage since about 4 o'clock this morning, is that you do have this situation where police don't know what to do at this particular stage. They are outnumbered. There are a number of community members, and there are hundreds, in fact, just here, who are outside the mall. And the 1 minute police are called to one area, you'll find another area is also flaring up. So how do you deal with that situation where you have so many people who are involved in this kind of looting, and then police are unable to handle the situation? So that's generally what we're seeing at the moment. And I think what I've also managed to grasp in what we've been able to see, Simpiwe, is that there has to be a certain level of restraint since, I guess, the entire debacle itself had unfolded, where it almost seems like police are restraining themselves to the best of their ability and trying to ensure that there isn't as much force as possible. Because remember, also in the past, we've criticized the manner in which police have handled themselves during protests. And I'm going to call these protests because it's protests and looting that is taking place. And I guess in the midst of in them trying to show that show of force, they've also got to make sure that there is a certain level of restraint in terms of how they conduct themselves, and in particular because we have seen over the past 24 hours these protests spreading. Recall that started in Jeppes Town, in Denver as well. I'm in Katlehong at the moment, which is on the East Rand. In Ekurhuleni, I recall as well, the executive mayor of Ekurhuleni, Mzwandile Masina, who publicly announced he is currently contracted the coronavirus and is in isolation at the moment. A statement from his office had been sent out cautioning people not to get involved in this kind of criminal activity. But obviously, since last night, this is what has happened. It has spread to other areas. I think we've driven to about 4 or 5 areas at this particular point. Okay, we're going to move towards this particular. Those who have been arrested will now be taken to the police nyala that has been brought in, onto the premises here. We're not going to go that far. Hear the community towards the left, Japan, towards the left. Listen to that sound. Community members are heckling as these individuals are being put into the police nyala.
Now, we had an argument, or rather, we had a discussion with my colleague Jadley Polzer with regards to whether there is a need for the intervention of the army and soldiers, because seemingly this situation is out of police hands. I mean, it is totally out of control, and it seems that the police are incredibly under-resourced at this particular moment. As you've mentioned, Chriselda, when they are attending to one certain mall, then another incident flares up in another mall, and they have to attend to that as well. And the number of, the looters and members of the community far outnumber the number of police personnel that are on the ground. So do you know at this point whether there is a potential of the intervention of the army?
Well, this is certainly not a call for me to make at this particular stage. You see some of my colleagues also being brought in here, many of the media, as these community members alleged to have been involved in the looting here are now being driven away in the police nyala. You'll watch there and see how stones are being flung. We'll go a bit closer, Japan. You'll see how stones are being flung at the police as they effect this arrest. In fact, it's going to make a U-turn there. I'm going to ask my colleague to just be a little bit safer and come back this way. You'll see that. There you go. Stones being flung at the police nyala as it drives off. Very difficult situation. Again, simply really not a call for me to make in terms of whether the South African National Defence Force should be brought in. Certainly higher authority would need to make that decision, but the situation is certainly out of control. The past 24 hours, what we have seen has escalated and spread to other areas. So certainly a conversation can be had about what needs to happen next. Are these protests going to continue for the next couple of days? Are other areas going to be affected as well? Because what you already have is a situation where a number of industries are saying they simply can't do anything. They'll have to shut down as a result of the sporadic incidents of violence. The number of businesses that have been affected here. Remember when I crossed to you just a little bit earlier on, I had indicated that we had some of the police officers who had been brought in here. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I beg your pardon. I'm actually going to do that. All right. Just before we go to, I'm being told to just wrap it up for a few seconds at the moment. I'm going to ask my colleague Japan Matabula very quickly before we cross to my colleague Jadley Polzer. The pathologists have arrived on the scene where the body of what's believed to be one of the residents, I do believe, has... Are you one of the shop owners, sir? You're working here. I'm really sorry to interrupt at this stage. Can you please just tell us what happened?
No, it's not now. I can't talk, please.
All right. And I totally understand that, sir. Looking very distressed, as would be any manager or shop owner at this particular stage over what?
He is coming now.
Who is coming?
The owner.
The owner.
Yeah, we'll take the stock at least.
Yeah. And how many employees do you employ here?
I think 12 or 13 here.
So now you don't know when you're going to open again?
Yeah, sorry.
All right, so I think I'm going to... All right, I think we're going to move from this area. More police continue to fire rubber bullets here. I'm sure you can hear the sound there. Just going to walk out of here, trying to find a bit of a safer area where my colleagues and I would be able to... we'll just show you there the pathologists who have arrived on the scene. The pathologists who have arrived on the scene, and we're expecting in the next few moments. There you have it, the Gauteng Emergency Medical Services arriving. Let's move towards that area. Japan Matabula, and for sensitive viewers, please do understand that there's not much that we can do at this stage, but we will not show you insensitively, in particular when it comes to issues of the deceased. You will see that the Gauteng Emergency Medical Services have just arrived. The pathologists themselves have arrived, and I think they will start the process now of removing the body of the deceased here at the Letsoho Mall in Katlehong. A really, really tight rope at this stage. I'm going to do about a 360 turn from where I'm standing at the moment to give you a complete sense. Japan, you can start here. This is where some of the community members are standing at this particular point. If I move towards here, that's where the body of the deceased is. That the pathologists at the moment having to do their jobs. I'm not in a position at all at this stage, SMP, to get any comment from police about the circumstances that led to this. Obviously, all that communication would go through the national department. It would be great, I guess, if the program would be able to get a hold of the national spokesperson, Vish Naidu, who is commenting on this. Community members in shock, some of them very shocked about what has taken place here. But on the other hand, if you move again towards this 360 here, on this other end, the others don't care. They continue with the looting of this Letsoho Mall here, which has been completely damaged. You saw there the manager of one of the stores unable to speak to us and indicating that the owner of the store is on his way. About 12, I think he said, was it employees? That's going to be affected, and I can certainly tell you there's going to be a whole lot more. That's 12 for just that shop, which we showed you just before we came out to the pathologists here. So many others are going to be affected, I guess, over the next couple of days to week. Let me hand over to my colleague, Jade Lee Paulser, and I'll bring you updated in terms of what is taking place here.